In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I fixed a coach's business in one 45-minute coaching call. So for context, this coach came to me, he'd previously been at about 20K per month, but by the time that we started working together, he'd taken a bit of a hit in business and belief, and he dropped down to about 13, 14K. His big goal was like, Adam, if I can just get back to consistent 20K months, I'd be over the moon. Now, I knew this guy had massive potential. He built a good audience. He was a good coach. He's been in the game a long time. And I said, you're probably not going to believe me when I say this, but we need to forget 20K. You should be shooting for like 30, 40, 50, 60K months. There is no reason you can't do this. Long and the short of it is, for me fixing his business, we went from like day zero, day one, where he was at 13, 14K, to 30 days later, a month later, and he'd done 52K. So from like 13, 14 to 50K within a month from fixing one thing, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I approached it. Now, if you're new to this channel, all I talk about on here is how to start and scale an online fitness business. I've helped over 3,500 people at this point. Usually we help people go from like 0 to X. In this case, of course, this guy was sort of like intermediate advanced and going from like good to great, but there's big lessons that you're gonna be able to take from this that you can apply to your business no matter what level you're at. And if you are returning to the channel and you've watched my videos before, big welcome back. I hope you find it useful. Okay, so let's jump in. So one of the biggest skill sets anybody can have in business is being able to identify where a constraint is or where an issue or a bottleneck is. You'll get loads of terms, constraints theory, bottleneck analysis, whatever you want to call it. Really, the long and the short of it is just being able to identify what the one kind of broken piece is or the piece that's not working as well as it could be. Now, this also goes for those of you that are fitness coaches working with your physique clients. When they are not progressing, most coaches kind of take like a shotgun approach on their check-ins and they're like, eat out at the weekend, you need to get more steps, you need to do this, we need to be more consistent in the gym, you need to increase your weight, you need to track better, loads of things. Good coaches are able to isolate, like what's the one thing that this client is struggling with? Why are they not being able to do it? And how can I fix it? When you really get your head around this process, both with your own clients and with your business, everything becomes so much easier. And that's the approach that I take on coaching calls. So with the guy that I'm talking about, for the purpose of this video, for example, when I ran through what he needs to fix, after it, he's like, anything else, anything, like I'm willing to do anything. I'll run through walls. Tell me what I need to do. I was like, dude, just go action this. Everything falls into place. And as said, it's gone from like 13, 14K to 50 already from fixing one thing. So I want to break down what I mean by finding out what the constraint is. So in a business, obviously, what we end up having, if we just skip all the steps in the middle, we start somewhere here, and the long and the short of it is, through a series of steps, we want to end up with clients in the business. That's what this final step is. That's obviously how a business works. So through these series of steps, there should be an amount of throughput, so from step one, whatever that is, that needs to be green, so things are flowing into that. Then from step 2 into step 3, and there might be 3 steps, could be 10 steps, who knows. And then in the case of this, the thing that I'm trying to highlight here is you can see the third box is much smaller, which means that that's the constraint. The throughput going into stage 4 is squeezed and it's not working as well. And then obviously it then gets back on track, and then we have clients that obviously come out the other end. So your goal as a business owner and as a coach is to identify at which stage of this is this constraint happening, is the problem happening, and where everything shuts off. Now, it could be an account growth issue. It could be a traffic issue. So it could be that if you're using Instagram, your Instagram account's not growing. If you're trying to generate leads from YouTube, it could be that you're just not getting views on videos and so on. That could be one part of it. If you're running ads, it could be that your click-through rate and so on is suboptimal. If you're running traffic to a page, it could be opt-in rate, whatever. So that'd be stage 1. The second side of it is kind of the nurturing side of it, which would be, do you have enough hand-raising opportunities? Is there enough authority on your page? Are people seeing social proof? Are they seeing these offers? The next stage would probably be sort of conversations, whether it's DMs. Then, of course, it would be sales process. That could be show rates, could be close rates, could be follow-up issues. Then you have churn issues and so on. My point is, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle with business, and most people struggle to identify where the one thing is. If we just fix that, everything else becomes easy. So when working with this guy, my job was to ignore all the noise and just find out what is this piece? This piece that's constrained, smaller than everything else, slowing down the traffic. What is that? That was really kind of the big thing that I needed to do. So if I go to this was effectively the sales mechanism, the funnel, the process that this coach was using. So he started here with YouTube. He's grown a big audience on YouTube, getting lots of traction, comments, and so on. And then from YouTube, he's sending people to a page that has all of his prices and stuff on it, had multiple packages, exact price breakdowns, the difference between them. I think it was like 3 or 4 different packages. From there, onto a Zoom call with him. Please excuse the drawings. And then obviously after the Zoom call, they would close and turn into clients. So if we think of it like this, YouTube was working, okay? Traffic was working, people were clicking the link. We could go and see the page stats of the amount of people landing on that page, and it was a substantial number. But the amount of people going from that page and booking a call was not. That was the big issue. And then when we looked at his sales metrics, once somebody was on a call with him, his show rate and his close rate was really good. So straight away, I knew that this page was the problem. This was the big thing kind of holding everything up. And I said to him, I think basically, number one, you're giving people too many options. There's this phrase in marketing, which is confused prospects don't buy. You need to kind of make the prescription when somebody lands on it, like this is the one program that you need. You're giving them too many options. And then secondly, where you're trying to only have financially qualified leads, you've got your price across everything, which means that there are people that would be a really good fit, could afford it, but they just get sticker shock. They just find out that little bit of information that they need, which is price, and they go, I'll come do this another time. Or they just see it and go, there's no way I could afford that, when they actually probably could. So that was kind of the hypothesis to this. I was like, if we just tweak that one page, I think everything kind of fixes itself. So I want to run through this because if you are running a coaching business, or if you're about to start running a coaching business, you probably have certain people get on sales calls with you who maybe couldn't afford it or whatever, and you get frustrated and you're like, right, I need to fix this. And I think a lot of people over-rotate. So I want you to pay attention to the left-hand side over here, basically. I want you to pay attention to that. So we have this continuum from the bottom to the top of what you can do in terms of price qualification. So the first one is obviously you could do nothing, right? So you just have somebody books a call with you, they put full name, email address, maybe their goals, job done. And what this leads to is, now if we look on the right side of it, is the lower down this graph that you go, you'll have lower intent buyers because there is no friction there, no pricing or anything, and we'll have higher volume, so higher throughput, meaning effectively anybody can go and just book a call onto your calendar. And then the higher up this continuum we go, the higher the intent, the more aware they are of how the program works, the pricing, but we constrain the volume because we purposely add friction in. Okay, so option one is we do nothing. Option two, a light one, is we have in there, what is your current occupation? And then we assess and we get a bit judgy. And if somebody says unemployed, student, in between jobs, maybe you check in with them and filter them off the calendar if needs be, whether right or wrong. If you're in like a physique or fitness coaching offer, you probably just stop at occupation. If you're in some form of business offer, then it's reasonable to probably be like, what do you currently do for work? And roughly what are you bringing in per month that we would need to match from this opportunity? You could add that in there as well. That's an occupation. It's not perfect, but it's gives you a bit of a sense of where somebody's at financially. If somebody puts, I'm a partner of a law firm versus I'm in university, we can assume that the partner in the law firm probably is in a better financial situation. The next step up from that is a simple question that's worded along the lines of, are you able to invest financially into your health and fitness goals? Yes or no? And you can either have radio buttons or you can have an open text field where they have to type it. I prefer the open text field because again, it gives you a signal of their intent if they put yes, this is fine, or capital letters, yes, or if they're not right now. The length of depth that they go to on the response can also give away the level of intent of a buyer. Stage 4, one up from this, is you could have a question that's along the lines of, approximately what level of budget are you able to allocate towards achieving these health and fitness goals? And then there you could have the equivalent of a dollar or a pound sign, $2 or 2 pound signs, $3 or 3 pound signs. You could even have something that says nothing, can't invest. And these would be radio buttons that they would pick the right option. Again, it's not a perfect thing, but you just get a level of, or you get an idea of how seriously this person's taking it. If they go and grade themselves either not willing to invest right now, or they tick themselves as a 1, they're probably going to be quite resistant to it. If somebody goes and ticks the 3 out of $3, this person is I've got a big problem, I'm willing to throw money at it, and I just want a result now. They're like very, very, very high intent. So it's a good signal. And then the final one, stage 5, which is basically what this coach was doing, is full price disclosure. So that's where you just give the prospect exactly what they want to know. You just tell them either coaching starts at X per month, or you do the cryptic, are you able to invest £5 per day into your health and fitness goals? And then obviously you hope that the person's smart enough to do 5 times 30 days in a month and get like an approximate income. But either way, you're giving it to them. The thing I really want to draw your attention back to is this bit here, that basically the higher up this scale, closer to 5, the higher the intent of the prospect because they're totally aware of everything, the easier they're going to be to close, but you're going to get much less calls on the calendar. The lower down this that we go, we might have some potential tire kickers and time wasters on the calendar, but we get much more throughput. So a mistake I often see is coaches that aren't fully booked, they need more coaching calls, they're not a big authority, they're quite new to the industry, and they're putting quite heavy price qualifiers in there, and they're just limiting themselves when it comes to calls on the calendar. So my answer 9 times out of 10 is, unless you are fully booked, either client-wise or call-wise, you want to go lower down the scale and allow more volume and just get better at the sales process. As you get more into this, as is the case with this coach, really it's trying to find where on this scale is kind of the sweet spot. Where's the level here that if we nail it right, we get a good amount of throughput and volume without constraining, the throughput, but we don't end up with a load of donkeys on the calendar. So what I'd suggested to this coach is that we went in at number 3, and we just went into like, hey, can you invest into your health and fitness goals right now? And that's the change that we made. So how it ended up looking was, if you remember, if I just scroll back, if you remember, this was the previous process. So it was like YouTube was working. The next page was full price disclosure. And this is where the constraint was that we weren't getting enough calls and people onto Zoom, but close rate was good. If we now fast forward to here, YouTube obviously was still working. This time we went direct to a calendar with a couple of embedded questions, which was just the, are you willing to invest into your health and fitness goals financially? That fixed everything. His show rate and close rate stayed exactly the same. And the result of it, of course, was a significant increase in signups. The most signups he has ever had in a month of coaching, which is pretty crazy. So hopefully this is useful. I want you to look at this in kind of 2 areas that you can apply into your own business. Number 1 is, if you currently are running a sales call process and you want more calls on the calendar, maybe take a look at how your booking process is working. Are you throwing too much friction in there? Are you making it too hard for the prospect? Are you putting them off with price? If it's intentional to control volume, that's okay. If you want more volume and you're putting people off unintentionally, go and fix it. And then the second thing, of course, is to be able to identify where in the entire business is the bottleneck. And of course, that's where I step in, that's where my team step in. For any of you trying to get your coaching business off the ground, if you feel you've hit a tough spot, plateau, even if you're starting out and you're just overwhelmed, you've tried copying a couple of other coaches and it's not worked, that's where we come in. So on the OT, you have private one-on-one calls every single month. You have your own coach in a communication channel between you and them. You have group calls, you have modules, you have resources, swipe files. We build out your entire tech stack. And the entire goal is for us continually throughout our time working together just to keep identifying like, what's the issue? How do we get through it? What's the issue? How do we get through it? Rather than you being just kind of overwhelmed, frankly, throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So if you're in this spot where you just want us to come in and try and alleviate the issues, let you know what the constraints are, and just get you to that next level of growth, like we did with this coach, there's a little link in the description below. Hit that and my team will reach out to you, and then we'll run through whether we feel we could help you or not. If that works for you, great. Second option is there's also a link to my Instagram account. Go check that out. Shoot me a DM if you've watched this video. Let me know what questions you have, and hopefully I can help you out. Regardless of that, hope this has been useful. Hopefully it shows you the power of fixing one constraint can literally take somebody from 13, 14,000 a month feeling stuck to just blasting through their goals and ended up at like 50K a month. Pretty cool. Catch you in the next video.